everyone. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that I get asked about, I guess, a lot, not just by strangers like out of the blue, but by loved ones and people that I get to know, who get to know me and a little bit about my life, and that is how I brought a healthy and whole and loving relationship into my life. Those of you who have been here a long time may have seen my ups and downs of my life and how much things have changed over the years. It was something that was really hard for me, growing up and all through my 20s, and something that I worked on a lot within myself. And so there's actually a kind of very interesting, fun, quirky way that I worked on this, kind of like everything that I do, that I figured I would share with you, because when I tell people, usually I just see a light bulb go off and they're like, wow, I need to do this too. And I'm only going to physically share one example with you, but I'll tell you about a couple different things that I did that really helped me through the process. And I feel like it has really made it to where all of my troubles in relationship building and having solid relationships with not only my partner but everyone has the troubles just kind of disappeared once I really did this work. So it's going to revolve around this little box today, which is a puzzle. It's very old and stained because it has gone through a lot. So I'll just kind of tell you the story, and if you have any more questions about anything, just let me know in the comments, and I am pretty open about my life, as you probably have seen already. Okay, so a few years ago, this would have been 2017, 3 years ago, I was in the Goodwill. If you know me, I love shopping at the Goodwill, and I found these cool puzzles that are mandalas that you can color, and I just thought that was so neat. I guess my whole family loves puzzles. My brother's obsessed with them, and I love mandalas. I think that I like coloring mandalas. The truth is that I end up never coloring. I have to actually talk myself into coloring. I don't know what that's about, but I like the idea of coloring mandalas. And they were super cheap at the Goodwill, so I bought 10 of them, and I actually have given some people these as gifts because I think they're so neat. But I had this one, I think this was my first one before I bought one first, and then I bought 10 later. Random details that you don't need to know. Anyways, so I was living on my boat and really just feeling very bad. Really sitting within myself and really noticing how heartbroken I was from life, from so many things, but a huge weight that was on me was how much I wanted to connect with someone, and I wanted to have a relationship, and I wanted to feel loved, and I wanted to feel accepted and understood and valued by somebody else, at least just one person. I felt that was a start. If you have one main cheerleader and person cheering you on and really supporting you, I feel that is so much, because then after that you have plenty of people that come along. But I was struggling finding that person, or what I felt I needed to find them. So yeah, I did a lot of swiping back in the day. Did not find anybody that way. I met a lot of people, got to know a lot of people. It just wasn't working. So needless to say, I had gone through a lot of unhealthy relationships, and I'm sure I can make a million other videos about my dating experience in my life growing into this, but this was like the really big like turning point, so I feel like this one's the most important. The other is kind of just funny stories. Anyways, so I was single on my boat. I was not working. I was just like resetting. Like I had finally done something for myself, and I was going to get down to the bottom of some of these like deeply ingrained issues that I had. And one of them was like finding a partner and really falling in love and having someone fall in love with me. So I did a lot of reflection throughout the year or more that I was like in that situation. And over that year, I watched tons of videos. I watched like a million TED Talks. There's so many good ones that really help to like get your gears turning. And I would listen to like music, like binaural beats music that would like say like the attracting love to me, and like I really felt like that helped like get the idea of like attracting it to me, because before I always thought I had to like go like out and like find somebody. So that kind of started to turn things, and eventually I don't even remember how this happened, but I just decided that I was going to envision and dream up the perfect person that would be my partner. And I know that a lot of girls do this, and I feel like there's a big difference between what I'm about to tell you about this versus that like checklist. Like I wouldn't say that I went into this thinking like I'm going to make a checklist. However, I would call it like a honing list. Like, have you ever, okay, so if we're talking about the Goodwill, so like, have you ever gone to the Goodwill or like any store, period, and like, you know, this thing that you're looking for, and like that you like feel like you need to go get it. Like, you probably, before going to the store, if you're a person like me who doesn't really like going to the store that much, you're gonna like have it conceptualized in your mind. Like, say you're like, oh, I need that red dress for that party like coming up this holiday season, and like I'm a size blank, and like I need it to be long and formal because it's a formal party, and like I want to make sure that I like have sleeves. I'm like making this up, but you probably have a really clear concept of what it is that like you're gonna put onto your body. And I feel like that's the way that I went about this. It was like, if I'm going to be meeting people, how am I gonna know that they would even like make sense for me to talk to? How am I going to like how is it gonna resonate whenever I'm like, wow, this is a really awesome person, I really want to get to know them? That was the way that I went about thinking about this. Not like, I'd love him to be tall and handsome, and oh, he has to be making lots of money. Like, that was not how I saw this. But it was like, you know, like, it reminds me of that book, and my brother's current obsession of Marie Kondo's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Okay, so we're not cleaning house in this situation, but we are talking about what brings you joy. So I started asking myself, what brings me joy whenever I'm like interacting with another human, not just a partner, a potential partner, anyone, like my friends, my family, my cats, even, like anyone. What brings me joy? Like, what just like type of energy and feel do I resonate with, and like what lights me up? So that's where I started. So I started writing all these characteristics and features down, because that would help me understand when I was like kind of getting closer, kind of like Marco Polo, like, or am I getting warmer at least, or is this like way in the cold zone? that was really helpful for me. And I feel like that maybe a lot of people do not have to do that. But I feel like growing up, I had somehow gotten really like discombobulated, and like, you know, whenever you have to calibrate your phone and you have to like turn it all around and make sure it understands where north is, that's what I was doing to my mind and to my heart. Because before it was like, oh, I think that I like this type of person. I'm like, wow, that was a terrible decision. Why would I ever think that I would want to date somebody like that or be with somebody like that? And then it would just happen again and again. And I think that I was feeling it out, but it was just wasting a lot of time. And I didn't need to do that. So this made it a lot simpler and a lot faster. Okay, we're going to get into it. So what I did was I made my list, and if you're familiar with the ways that I do things, the one organization pattern that I use that has helped me so much in making sure that I cover all the bases in life, period, organizing my house, organizing my desk, anything, is feng shui. So if you are not familiar with feng shui, it's an ancient, I think, Chinese practice, and it's focused on different energies that are within everyone, and the different I'm gonna butcher this, I'm not gonna explain it, you can Google it, that's simple. Okay, so I go through each energy area of the Bagua from feng shui, and I would feel like what areas, what characteristics in this category of life do I really love and what brings me joy. So I'll pick out a couple of pieces and I'll show you what I did. So after I made, I think I wrote it all down on a paper first. I have no idea where that paper is. I wrote it all down on a paper first, and then once I had like a few for each area, I remember what I did. This is the part I wasn't going to show. I actually started making myself a dating calculator. I'm going to have to make a different video on that because that people ask me about a lot too. That might be like part 2 of this video. But I had made a dating calculator which had all these lists. And I took those characteristics and I was like really wanting to feel them, not just like check them off again. So I started writing them on the back of these puzzle pieces. So let's pick one out. Okay, so like this one says stable. I don't know if that's flipped, but whatever. It says stable. I would write it on the back of a puzzle piece from my list, and I would like really feel it. Like, yes, that is something that really helps. Obviously, like, yeah, I've had a lot of unstable partners, and that was not very fun. I'm assuming that most people like that, but there might be some people who just like are really like into chaos, and that's okay. So I would feel that out, and this one was probably from like the like fire element area of my Bagua. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You could just make a list. I just knew that it was going to cover all the bases. And then as I would think about it, I would... Oh, actually, no. This one would have been from the like prosperity. So actually, it's about like stable abundance and income and like bringing like things to them. I really appreciate that because, you know, if you've ever had somebody who just was not really into taking care of themselves, it can be very burdensome on somebody who is like trying to take care of herself. So I only know that it's in that area because I colored the piece based on the color of the Bagua, because I feel like color has a lot to do with things too. And so yeah, so I would just color the piece based on the color that it's associated with in the Bagua, and it would like give me time to really like dream and to like envision like, wow, like what would this look like? Like sometimes I would start dreaming and I'd be like, oh yeah, they've like been in their job forever and like they're really solid, and I'm like, that's actually not really something that's that important to me. Like I don't really care because I've changed jobs like every 1 to 2 years of my entire life. That's just who I am. So I don't really care if somebody else has. It's more about like that they keep going. That's what stable meant to me. And that's how I could be listening for these context clues in conversations. And if they're just like, whatever, I'm like, I don't care, like, I'll live with my parents. I've been there many times. Then I just feel like they're not driven, and that's not really gonna, like, mesh with me very much. Okay, let's pull another one. This is the first time I've, like, made any type of video about this, and I feel like it's been a long time coming. Okay, this one. Natural. I don't know how to hold stuff in front of the camera. So natural was a big thing for me, and as you can see, it's kind of like green and brown, and to me that meant like the family and health aspects of the feng shui, which I was really in a big time of my life where I was shifting to all natural products, and it was very new to me, and most people that I had known did not do that. And like I guess it wasn't as popular back then. Maybe it's still just as popular, but now I'm just aware of it. And I wanted to like be with somebody who was like into that, or like at least open to it. You know what I mean? To where I didn't feel like I had to constantly like be like, yeah, like I buy these types of products because I care about the earth and the environment and my body and everything. And that was many times. That was actually like a huge thing that I had to like face when like meeting people who were not into that realm. Obviously, it was not in the right area. I was not in the right places whenever I was meeting people. That just was telling me, like, these people don't get it. Like, it's okay. Go somewhere else. So then I changed. Okay, then let's do, like, one more, just to show full examples. Okay. Empathetic. So when I wrote empathetic on this one, what color is this? So I don't know what color that is. I think that was for like the very centered like vibrance. I'm not sure at this point. It's been a long time since I honestly even touched these. But empathetic, really being able to like connect with somebody who has empathy. You know, I thought this was like a natural human characteristic, and I have realized over the years that this is something that a lot of people have not worked on, and were not encouraged to grow while they were growing up. And I'm an empath. Like, I feel so much that most people do not understand. But just having someone who is empathetic, not an empath, just at least empathetic, was a huge thing, because I feel so deeply, and for someone to not feel anything, which I was in a very long-term relationship with someone before who couldn't empathize with anything. Like, I was very concerned about his well-being. And it was really difficult, because everything that I would feel I couldn't like share, because it would just be like, or they'd be like, I don't care, whatever. So that was a big thing. Now, I could go through this box. This literally has 50 pieces, and I think I even left out some words whenever I had less than 50 words written down, because I remember that I had extra pieces, and then I just wrote like hearts or something else. That took me like probably 6 months to do. It was very heavy, like, whoa, like this is very deep, like inner work that I was working on. So I would color like 2 or 3 pieces, and I'd be like, okay, I'm done for today. This is a lot. I am visioning this, but like it was really seeing like a whole new world that I had never known. And I just read something before coming on here to make this vlog, which I loved, and like I feel like it was so perfect timing for me to read it. And I was talking about how when we realize that everything that we see within us and like outside of us is really a reflection of us, that's a very deep, like, kind of viewpoint of life. And maybe you believe that or don't believe that, like, energetically. But even if you just think about how the people that you surround yourself with are usually very much like you. And if you don't know yourself, then it's going to be hard to know who is going to be a good partner for you. So whenever you start to reflect on these things, and what I found over like 6+ months of doing this is that by the end, it hit me that the things that I was writing them down because that was like the things I valued and loved about myself. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like I am that person. And then I was really confused for a bit, and then I was like, oh, yeah, because if I want somebody else to love me for who I am or to value me for who I am, I had to do that first. Otherwise, I would be talking them out of it. I'd be like, oh yeah, like I'm stable. Like, okay, I'm stable, but I change jobs like every couple years. If I was not like super confident in saying what I told you just a couple minutes ago and being like, yeah, I always find ways to like keep going, make money, like take care of myself. I'm going to change a lot, but that's cool. Like, I actually like that because I have way better stories about my life than maybe other people. So I had to do that in order to love myself, appreciate myself. And I feel like a lot of these things sound cliche but maybe that's just because I've heard them a million times because I did so much like watching and absorbing these like affirmations that maybe you've never even heard this before. So here you go. That's the key. Love yourself. Find all the things you love about yourself, and then you're going to be able to find somebody else who does love that same thing about you. Yeah, that was a big, huge shift in my awareness and the way that I found partnership after that point. And it only took probably, timing is kind of weird. Time is weird in general. But I would say it was like a couple months after I like solidified this list. I colored all the pieces, totally different colors, so that was very hard putting this puzzle together, by the way. It's not going to look beautiful at the end, but it's going to look like you because you are all of these different things. I put the puzzle together after all that time working on it, and after that, it was probably like 2 or 3 months before I was in a solid, like, relationship that I felt good about, that I could feel was different than the relationships before. It was still hard in the beginning, and I was still working out kinks, so I won't say that it was like just like so easy and wonderful and lovely. The relationship I'm in right now it's been work, and who knows how long it'll last. Hopefully forever. But that's kind of the other funny thing, is that now I don't worry about that, because now I understand that no matter what, whoever comes and goes, these are the things that I love about myself, and these are the things that I have to offer to someone else, and they're going to love it. They're going to feel so great about having a partner who is all of these things. And that's why I'm going to appreciate them too. So that is how I think of it as like created my ideal relationship, because I created my ideal relationship with myself by doing this and a couple other things. And then the actual relationship skills I had built inside of myself went into the relationship that I had with my partner. And they continued to build into that. And because I value all of these things about myself and about him, when things get weird or tough, or like it just feels like it's like, is this really like gonna work out? Like, is this right? Like, am I making a mistake? Like, are we gonna grow apart? Like, we're like, no, like we have so much that we value that like all these like little things don't really like matter that much. Like, they're just kind of like small like friction points, rather than like before I knew all of this about myself and about the person that I was with, I would blow up over like small things and probably self-destruct some relationships that maybe they would have worked if I had done this before. Who knows? Maybe those things that had gotten under my skin and just built up and built up and built up and finally just like cracked, and like we just like butt heads, and you know, everything was messy. Maybe that only happened because I hadn't worked on myself to appreciate the things in myself, to offer them to the partner that I was with, and for me to appreciate things such as those in that person. Who knows? It doesn't matter now. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. It's a little bit longer video than I was hoping for. That's just how I roll. But yeah, like, if you have experienced situations like this where maybe you had a hard time with relationships earlier on, and now you have created and like brought healthy relationships to you, I would love to hear what you did in the comments. If you are feeling the way that I used to feel, and feeling like, I'm like over it, so over it, or like, why does everything just keep failing? Then I hope that this helps. And if you would like more videos like this, and more like if you have questions or have a certain thing that you feel like you're stuck on, then let me know in the comments, and I will attempt to answer questions and at least share more insights. But for now, I think that's it for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking this video. If you did feel like it was good and feel like it resonated with you, and if you want more videos like this, subscribe and let me know in the comments, like I said. And who knows what I'll do next time. I'm just still kind of figuring things out on this new journey. But yeah, I'm excited to continue sharing stories like this. That I was going to do a totally different story before sitting here in front of this vlog camera, and which is my phone right now. And then it just like hit me, and I'm glad I did this, because this is like so much closer to my heart and something that a lot of people have asked me for. So here you are. Now you can share it with all your friends who are like facing these troubles. Okay,